Hi friends, let's talk travel, Old West stagecoach style. Let me say right up front that I've seen this information in a couple of places, neither of which is a scholarly article. So I cannot attest to the historical validity of the information, but the spiritual point is well made. In the Old West, the stagecoach was one of the primary means of transportation. The coaches were small, carrying at most 6 people. Even so, there were different classes of tickets: first class, second class, and third class. The distinction was not the size or the location of the seat. It was not the food that was served along the journey. The distinction was what was expected of the ticket holder in case the stagecoach got into trouble, like deep mud or a steep incline. First class tickets, the most expensive, entitled the ticket holder to remain in the stagecoach no matter what conditions might be faced. First class passengers were exempt from having to put forth any kind of effort. A second class ticket meant that if a difficulty arose, you had to get out of the stagecoach and either stand alongside it or walk alongside it until the difficulty was resolved. The cheapest third class ticket required the holder to help resolve the difficulty, and that usually meant digging wheels out of mud or helping to push the coach uphill. The different classes of tickets are like different attitudes that people have. Some just sit there and expect to be waited on and catered to. Some ride along until there's a problem and then step aside and expect someone else to fix it. And some ride along until there's a problem, and when something goes wrong, they get to work to help solve the problem. I wonder if Jesus had those attitudes in mind when he told the parable of the Good Samaritan. That's in Luke chapter 10. In that parable, the priest and the Levite were VIPs, at least in their own estimation. They didn't want to be made unclean by the problems of the world. The Samaritan, however, recognized the trouble, rolled up his sleeves, and went to work, giving help and healing to the Jewish man who had been robbed and beaten. Jews looked down upon Samaritans as third-class citizens. And it turns out that those are exactly the people that you want to have around. They roll up their sleeves and lend a hand. They work to solve problems. They take the risk of getting involved. They're good. Whether at work or home or school or church, we need third-class ticket holders. People who are bold and creative enough to deal with problems in responsible and redemptive ways. It's easier, of course, to stand back and to watch, or to critique from the side, or to coach from the armchair. But if we want to move forward and get somewhere, we need people who are willing to work. Jesus said and demonstrated many times and in different ways that those who expect to be served will be last, and those who serve will be first. He turned the value system of this world upside down and dared to say that in God's eyes, first-class reality is not the privilege of having everything done for you, but rather the willingness to assume the role of a servant. And so to live in the spirit of Jesus and to live according to the example of Jesus, when problems arise, we roll up our sleeves, get involved, and make it good. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again next week.